Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. This is Godson Pius from Wordbrain Technology. Okay, so this is a continuation of our lessons for web designing, right? So quickly we're going to be looking at displaying graphics and CSS3 animation in this tutorial. We're going to be learning how to get your image into your um, designs, that's your website. I'm going to be learning how to work with CSS3 animations, right? So let's get started. So here we're going to be creating a new folder. We'll call this, let's just call it animations. Yeah, let's just call it animations and graphics. Okay, so within here we'll create a new file. I'll call this index.html. Then within this index.html we'll create a new folder. We'll call this css, and then within the css we'll call this style.css. Alright, excellent. So here we'll have to say animation and graphics. So over here we'll have the link to the css. So let's actually see if it's pointing. Okay, great. So it's pointing to our css file. Okay, yeah. Okay, so right here the first thing we want to do is how, oh sorry, let's increase this. Oops, too much. Okay, so the first thing we need to see is how we can import a certain image to the application, right? So what we need to do right now is we create a new folder, and then we'll call this assets, and within this asset we create another folder. We'll call this img. Okay, so quickly pick an image and place it in this img folder. So I'll go to downloads. So let me pick this image, copy. So I just come over here, reveal in finder. Okay, great. So within this I'm going to paste item, then I'll change the name to test.jpg. Alright, change the name to test.jpg. So once you've done that, oops. So once you've done that, you should see this image in your program. Okay, so the way we can actually insert this image is by using the img tag. Yeah, just like this. Yeah, just like that. So this img tag takes in some parameters, and the parameter they take in, the first one which we'll look at is the source. So this source is actually an attribute that specifies where the image is located, right? So where can this img tag get this image you want to display? Okay, so we actually save that inside of the assets folders, and then within the img then we have the test.jpg. Okay, so let's quickly open with live server. Wow, so we have our image showing up right here. Okay, then what we need to do right now is kind of reduce the weight and reduce the height as well. It's too big, right? So within the img tag we have an attribute called width. So with this width, you can reduce the width uh, of the image, and we also have an attribute called the height. We can as well reduce the height of the image. Okay, so you see that, so it now making more sense. So let's increase this to like 500. All right, so it's looking great now. So we can also add an auth to this. So what this does is it kind of explains uh, what this image is actually used for. Let's say we have an issue we have some typography here in the name of the image. This auth will actually stand there and tell us, okay, an image is supposed to be here and this is what the image is used for, right? So we can just say design banner, just something design banner. So if we go back, refresh, you can't see this right now because we need that when there's kind of an error there. You see that? So here we had an error in the JPEG. We can change the error in the name. You see that? So we're supposed to have an image here, but the image is broken. So the auth actually stands in for us. They're saying, all right, the design banner is supposed to be here, but for some reasons it's broken. We can't find it over here. Okay, you get the function now. So there is a general attribute, not just for img, is general. So this just explains what that is. So this is a test image, whatever. So if you hover on it, you can see that this is a test image just beneath the icon. Okay, you see that? All right. Okay, so this is how you can uh, get your image into your application. And of course, yeah, you can style it if you want to style it. Yeah, so you can say body img. So you can float this, you can float it to the right. You see that? So you can add your css styling. So we can have a shadow here. So let's say box shadow 2ps, 2ps, 5ps, black. You see that? You see the little box shadow over there, right? So you can do all your styling in this place. Anyhow you want to style it, you can style it and it will still be fine and wonderful. Okay, so this will introduce us to this will actually introduce us to animation. So let's have a div here, and let's say this div is going to have a class of animate. Okay, so uh, should we have something inside? Okay, let's just have Lorraine inside of it. So right here we have this Lorem guy, or we can just remove everything, just leave it to be empty this way. Yeah, so in our css, let's style this animate. So go to body dot animate. So we'll give it a background color, of um, f4 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 4. Okay, let's just have dd, then we'll change this from this place. Okay, so let's give it this background color. Yeah, and then we'll make the weight to be 50%, right? And then we'll make the height to be 100 px. All right, you see that? So this is what we have. So let's kind of reduce the, okay, and let's increase the height a little bit. Okay, so nice. All right, so in CSS3 animation we can add a transition that when we hover on this it slowly expands, right? And then when we lose focus on it, right, it just comes back to its normal size. So we can achieve that by saying body dot animate colon hover. So when you hover on it, let's increase the width to 50, right, or 40. Okay, and the height, let's just play around with the height and increase the height by 250. So let's check this out. So you see that? So what happens now, this guy runs really automatically, like he's not animating. Okay, he's not animating. So let's see how we can animate this guy using a property called transition. So I'm going to make use of a property called transition. So uh just above here, within this guy here, we'll add transition, then we'll say width 1.5, just 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and let's see this in action. You see that? Okay, let's also add okay, I'll come in. Let's see. You see that? So the width, if you notice, when we added the width, it was only transiting for the width, while the height was still going automatically. Okay, so let me show you guys. So you can see it very, very, very well. You see that the height is not animating with the width. Why? Because we only specify the width here. So but when we remove it, and then let's make this 2 seconds. Okay, when we refresh, you see that everything is animating at the same time. Awesome, you see that? Okay, so we can increase this to 50. Okay, then awesome, awesome. You see, so this is how you can work with CSS3 transition, right? So the transition has some other properties. We have the transition, this property we have here is actually the shorthand property, and is used for setting the 4 other transition properties into a single property. So we have the transition property. The short property is actually the width that we added initially. Then we have the transition duration, which is this 2 seconds here. We have the transition timing function, and it's used for describing how the speed is being calculated, right? So the default is actually ease, right? The default is ease. Then the transition delay is used for defining the start of the transition. Default value is 0. Okay, so instead of having all those properties all over and all over again, you can just make use of the shorthand property, which is what we have right here. Okay, you can choose to also put is in out. So I told you that this is the short. Okay, you can see it here. This is shorthand property that combines 4 of the short property into a single property. So if we go back here, you see that it's just the same thing though. Okay, so that is the transition property in our CSS3. Okay, so let's look at CSS3 animations now. So let's have another div here, and then we'll call this div uh, move, or let's just say ball. Let's just call it ball. Okay, then our CSS will style this. It's a body dot ball, so it's gonna have a background color. Okay, let's get the color from here as well. Oops. Just hover on this and then you go into here. Okay, let's go with this bit. And then we're gonna have a width of let's say 30 px, and then a height of 30 px as well. Oops. So let's check this out. Oops, it's too small, guys. And let's add a break here. Hahaha, is this angular for Christ's sake? Okay, so let's have a break, not banner, break. Okay, so this break actually, takes it down. So let's increase this to 60. Let's increase this to 200. 150 px. Okay, nice. 150 px makes sense. So we want this guy to actually be like a ball, so we're gonna be giving it a border radius. We're gonna be giving this guy a border radius, and the border radius takes in an integer, that is a number value. So we can give this 200 px. Great. So it's rounded now. All right. So guys, what we actually want to achieve is getting this ball go from this point to this point, and to this point to this point, and to this point to this point, and then from here to this point. So let me come again. What we want to achieve with the CSS3 animation is getting this ball get to this point, and from this point it gets to this point, and from here it gets to here, then it returns back to its initial position. So it just moves like this DVD wait time, screensavers, whereby things just move all around the screen and you're wondering what is happening. Okay, so we're going to be achieving that right now. Using the CSS3 animation. So we also have a shorthand property that caters for all of that, both the animation name, the animation duration, and all of that. Okay, so okay, so let's get this working straight up. So here we're going to be adding a position relative, so it can actually move around. So it can move around. So it is a property that sets how element is positioned in a document, and every other thing. So we want to make it relative. So we'll choose the animation name. Oh god, okay. So the animation will be, let's say, initial animation. What a long name. Okay, we can just reduce it to init animation. Okay, then the animation duration, we set this to 4 seconds. Then animation timing function, we set this to linear. Okay, then animation delay, we set this to 1 second. 1 second, right? So we have animation iteration. Okay, then count, we set this to infinite. You can also choose the direction, animation direction. So we're going to be choosing alternate. Then now we need to choose the playlet. So animation play state. So say this will be running. So we want the this guy to just, hey bro, keep running, keep running, keep running. Okay. So now what we need to do right now is setting the keyframes. Okay. So we're going to be setting the keyframes to this to this div here. So the keyframes is actually the main guy, the main animation uh, keyword with what we need to animate these divs. The keyword we actually need to animate this div. Okay, it's very quite simple. It's quite simple. We just do at keyframes followed by the name of your animation, which is init animation. Okay, so we say at 0. What's happening? Okay, so we say at 0%, that is when it has not yet started moving. We change the background to we change the background color to, let's say, uh, black. Okay, let's just use black here, and then we want it to move from left 0 ps initially, and the top should still be, what is happening, and then the top should still be 0 ps. Okay, so we can actually make use of the left and top property because here we made the position to be relative, so we can actually move it anyhow we want to move it, right? So that this will be at 0%. Then at 25%, we want the background color to change to yellow, or we can make it change to orange. Then left will be 300 ps, and then the top will still be 0 ps. Okay, so it's making more sense right now. Then at 50%, we'll change the background color to, let's say, green. Is there anything? Okay, we can go for light blue, right? Yeah, light blue. Then left to be 300 px, so still on that position, but now the top is gonna change. Okay, the top is gonna change to 3 px. Okay, then we'll go as 75 as 75%. The background color now can change to, let's say, dark blue. Then left to change to 0. Yeah, and then top we move to 300. We still be in 300 px. Okay, so the last one, which is the 100%. So we have background color, take it back to the initial color here. So let's copy this. Let's copy and let's paste it here. Okay, then left will still be on 0. Then top we go back to 0 as well. 0 ps. Okay, so now we have our animation up there. So let's look at what we have here. Oh, interesting. Okay, so you see is moving alternatively, goes 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 to the top, gets to this point, dark blue, light blue, yellow. You see that? So we can actually extend the left to get to this point, right? So we can say left will be we can say left to be 600, 600. Okay, excellent. You see that? Excellent. All right, so this is how you can work with your animations, your transition, and then of course your images in HTML and CSS. Okay, so I believe you like this tutorial. Please hit the subscribe button, like our videos, and share our videos. Okay, and also click on the bell button to get notified when we release new interesting videos like this. All right, see you guys.